All right, guys, we're gonna go over a quick recap of what we've talked about so far. That's gonna kind of break it down a little bit easier for you and gonna get you to understand what to do. So first things first, calorie deficit. We know that's the main proponent. You have to be in a calorie deficit if you wanna lose the weight, okay? You have to make sure that you need to be eating less than what you are outputting in order to drop the pounds. Otherwise, it's not gonna come off. Just again, to be sure to check your numbers if you have to play around with it over the next couple of weeks to get it right and stay at a caloric deficit number that works for you. It could take a few days, it could take a few weeks, right? Generally speaking, roughly around 2 weeks or so, but again, play around with it until you get a number that works for you, but staying in a calorie deficit is the main thing. Next is the macros. Obviously, we talked about what macros you're gonna use. Find one that works for you. I would suggest, as I said, having one with higher protein, generally 50 with percent protein or 30 to 40% carbs and 10 to 20% fats. But again, you can play around with it, find one that works for you, and then stick with that within the caloric deficit that you've set yourself. And just do the best that you can when it comes to your macros. So the next is your total daily energy expenditure. It's not one that I've touched on enough here, but one that you need to understand is that try and get more movement during the day, because your total daily energy expenditure is just basically it's the amount of energy your body produces and uses throughout the day other than working out, right? So it's you walking around at work, you know, going grocery shopping, moving around the house, doing laundry, doing stuff in the backyard, whatever. It's the total amount of expenditure. When you move around more during the day, you actually burn more calories. What's cool though is that the more weight that you lose and the more muscle that you build and cardiovascular endurance you build over time, it helps to increase your total daily energy expenditure over time. Now again, that takes months and years, but that's why exercise is also very important, because the more that you, again, lose weight and build muscle and get stronger and output more during your exercise and just become an overall better individual, it allows you and it actually increases and strengthens your metabolism and allows you to lose more during the day as well. It increases your total daily expenditure. Your metabolism generally outputs a little bit more slowly over time, right? So just make sure, if you can, if your schedule allows it, more movement during the day is gonna help. Another thing I just wanna touch base on here, and I know some people are gonna roll their eyes, add in cardio, okay? You don't have to do it. It doesn't mean that you necessarily have to add it in to lose weight. Plenty of people have done it, and I know you know people that have lost weight without doing cardio. The reason why I get my clients to do it, the reason why I do it, and the reason why I suggest it is because first and foremost, again, it's gonna help with burning more calories. But secondly, in my opinion, more importantly, it's going to help increase heart strength. So does lifting weights. I get it, because it's the natural amount of movement and weight and exercise that you do that elevates the heart rate. But when you can push your heart rate to a higher degree doing cardio, it's going to just make your heart stronger, okay? And there's been studies to show that it's a bit more effective than weight training. Not that weight training should have been done. Of course it needs to be done, right? It has its benefits with weight loss, but mainly through building muscle as well, right? Which down the road helps with maintaining weight loss. But cardio is just going to be beneficial for you nonetheless. It's going to increase your cardiovascular system. A stronger cardiovascular system and output is going to allow your body to breathe easier, have a stronger heart, and allow you to live longer. Make sure to get your eating in order. If you have to meal prep in advance, meal prep in advance. If you're somebody who's on the go, make sure you're going to pick lower calorie meals or healthier choice meals on the go for your weight loss, so you can ensure that you're going to be in your caloric deficit. And I know what some of you are saying, and you're probably saying, but if I'm still in my caloric deficit, but I have some cookies or I have a burger, or I have this and that, will I still lose weight? Yes, you technically will still lose weight, but you have to also remember, I mean, again, if there are some people that can do that, probability wise, that's great. But I would suggest that you pick healthier choice foods to get into the habit of generally having those foods over time, versus if you're somebody who's been used to having those types of crappier foods or higher caloric foods most of your life. We're trying to get out of that mindset. And again, I'll go more into that in the mindset section because it is very important. but you want to give yourself the ability and you want to give yourself the respect and the chance to be able to choose lower calorie, healthier choice meals to allow you to continue to lose weight and to stop you from possibly going and binging back on certain other foods as well. At the very minimum, maintain a 3-day exercise routine for the high performance individual. Look at those videos that I've put in earlier on in the course. Use those if you need to, and just make sure that you're getting that into your routine to, again, help strengthen your mindset and your resolve to allow you to build a routine and a foundation to start doing longer forms of exercises and to get you to build it into the very busy routine that you have. But at the very, very, very least, okay, 15 minutes, high intensity at the very least, okay, and incorporate that multiple times in a week. Remember, start making better choices too. I'm also going to put a downloadable link as an example of some foods that you can pick that are lower calorie foods, have 50% like less fat or less calories or so on and so forth. If you're somebody who's really in the process of eating a lot of bad foods, you can start off with some of these foods and start incorporating them in your routine so that you can start losing calories just by having some of these food choices. But overall, start to make better food choices, start incorporating more lean meats, have more vegetables, fill up on water when you're eating foods, stop yourself from having 2, 3, or 4 extra plates. Use water, like I said, instead, or a very low calorie type of, like even pomegranate juice or orange juice or something that you like that's low calorie, that'll fill you up and make you feel more full. And start being more mindful of what you're eating when you are in your weight loss process. So take all of these points, use them, utilize them. Hopefully these videos have helped you and they have pushed you and given you a lot more insight, and they've encouraged you to keep moving in the right direction. Over time, I will be adding more to the nutrition section because, again, I want to try and keep giving as much value as I can. Even if I get any feedback from you guys, any recommendations, I'll definitely take it into consideration and probably do a video on it, because if you're asking a question on it, then there's definitely going to be other people who want to know the answer to it as well. So I'll take that into my feed and look into it as well. But for now, just hopefully you can utilize these and start adding it into your routine so that you can start getting better results.